Aloha and welcome to the joint committee hearing of the House Committee on Water and Land and the House Committee on Judiciary and Hawaiian Affairs. Today is Monday, March 22nd. It is 2 p.m. We're holding this joint committee hearing by video conference. The Water and Land Committee is in room 430 and the Judiciary and Hawaiian Affairs Committee is in room 325 here at the state capitol. Welcome to all of our testifiers. Today's hearing is for the consideration of a House concurrent resolution and a House resolution. We'll be hearing these together. And the title is requesting the Department of Land and Natural Resources to convene a working group to assess the status of Act 14, Special Session Laws of Hawaii, 1995. We have received testimony from a number of organizations and individuals. We'll be hearing from a few of them today by remote testimony. First, I'd like to ask the representative from the Department of Land and Natural Resources to provide their testimony, which is providing comments to us. May I ask Mr. Kevin Moore or Russell Suji to provide us their testimony? Please proceed.
Yeah, good afternoon, Chair, Vice Chair, committee members. Kevin Moore with the DLNR Land Division. The department will stand on its written testimony offering comments and an amendment. We basically agree with DHHL's position that the committee may not be necessary, but if it's acted on, then it probably should be limited to the parties who are already working on the settlement and trying to sort out the issues, which is primarily DHHL, DLNR, the Attorney General's office, and DOT Highways might need to be involved. Thank you. We're available for questions.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. Appreciate it. Next, we have testimony from Department of Hawaiian Homelands. Mr. Aila, the floor is yours. Please proceed.
Thank you, Chair Tarnes and Chair Nakashima. I would just point out that we have comments that are submitted also, and that we agree that removing the reference to other entities will only hamper the continued movement towards full and final settlement of Act 14, and that it is a little bit more complicated than at first glance, because the Department of Hawaiian Homelands is in a lawsuit regarding Mauna Kea Access Road, which is part of Act 14 settlement. And we're also in the process of obtaining independent counsel to represent our beneficiaries' needs with regards to the balance of Act 14's settlement on land. So this resolution, I think, would complicate things really more than necessary. So, but thank you for the opportunity to testify.
Thank you, Chair Aila, and thank you for the additional information in your testimony, giving us an update. Very helpful from your January 2019 memo dated January 28, 29, 2019. Thank you very much for sharing that with us. Next, we have testimony from Office of Planning. Mary Alice Evans, if you're available, the floor is yours. Please proceed.
Thank you, Representative. This is the Office of Planning offers comments on the resos. We were part of the original DHHL Land Claims Task Force as the Office of State Planning, and OP, as its successor agency, is willing to serve on the working group if it's the legislature's desire. However, we do want to be sure that we defer to the Department of Hawaiian Homelands and the Department of Land and Natural Resources on the 16,000 acre transfer status. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And finally, the last testifier in person is going to be the Sovereign Council of Hawaiian Homestead Associations, Ms. Robin Puanani Danner. The floor is yours. Please proceed. Oh, we're just told that she is unavailable. So that's all the testimony from oral testifiers that we have. We've also received written testimony in support from Tipu Kai Kuali'i, Kauai County Council, from Mike Kahikina, Association of Hawaiians for Homestead Lands, from Lisa Bishop, Marlena Kamuela Purdy, Charles Ice, and testimony providing comments from Cheryl B. And I think that is all the testifiers that we have. Members, do you have any questions for our testifiers? No questions over here from our members. Let me turn it over to you, Representative Marioshi, to see if any of your members have questions for the testifiers.
Thank you, Chair Tarnas. Members, any questions?
Chair.
Yes, Rep. Ward.
Thank you, Chair. Mr. Isla, please.
Yes, Rep. Ward.
In your testimony, you note in the second paragraph that finalizing the outstanding claims related to Act 14 is the more appropriate focus, and then this resolution could be amended to relieve, et cetera, et cetera. So how do you see the finalization of the outcome of Act 14? What, in terms of the outstanding claims, are they sufficiently in place to be resolved? Or as you think this reso would complicate it, what seems to be the smooth end game, if you will, of the Act 14, the matter before us?
Thank you, Representative. We have a process that we are actually actively going through right now. There is also more in-depth research that is occurring right now with regards to the differences of acres in in our claim and in the Department of Land and Natural Resources response to our claim. We have the outstanding issue of compensation for the use of Mauna Kea Access Road, as well as some of the areas on Kauai that still need more work. So this task force may distract us from actually accomplishing what is the intent of Act 14. And then, of course, the state of Hawaii, in this case, I know it sounds strange, the state of Hawaii interest may be very different from the Department of Hawaiian Homelands interest in laying forth the analysis for the discussion, and that we're almost done with hiring our independent counsel to provide advice on behalf of the trust versus the state of Hawaii's interest in the resolution of these outstanding claims.
So it sounds like you are confident that all of these outstanding claims will be resolved. And I think that was probably what was behind my question, if you felt this would help it or hinder it. And it sounds like everything's going to go as you intend, and the compensation will be provided, correct?
We hope that we can enter into discussions that will result in finalizing the settlement in such a way that both all the state agencies that are involved come to the conclusion that is fair.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you, members. Any further questions? Seeing none, Rep. Tarnas.
Thank you. Let me just look around and see if there's any questions from my committee members. Yes, we do have one question over here from Representative Ganadin. Please proceed.
Aloha, Chair Isla. Good afternoon. In the Office of Hawaiian Affairs testimony, they suggest the possibility of adding the Department of Transportation as a relevant stakeholder to this working group. Just wanted to get your feedback on that.
The Department of Transportation is actually a party to the original Act 14. However, representing their interests at the table right now is the Department of Land and Natural Resources.
Should this resolution move forward, would it be helpful or not helpful to add the Department of Transportation?
Because the Department of Transportation does not control or have authority over any state lands that could have an impact on finalizing this settlement. It would not be practical for them to participate. The DLNR is the holder of all available lands that could be part of the negotiations.
Thank you so much. One more quick question. You were mentioning that you are in the process of retaining independent counsel for a forthcoming settlement having to do with the act. Can the independent counsel's contract be extended to cover contents of this resolution? So can you continue to get independent counsel?
At this point, negotiations with the independent counsel are very, very close to being completed. So I don't believe that we could add that as an additional part of condition of that permit, because we've negotiated price and we've negotiated services. Representative Gannon, I would recommend that this resolution not pass and that we be allowed to continue finishing the Act 14 settlement as we speak.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions, members?
Chair.
No more questions from over here in Water and Lands. I'll turn it back to you, Rep. Marioshi.
Thank you. We have one more question from Rep. Tokioka.
Thank you, Vice Chair. For DLNR,
Yes.
do you have specifics? I see in your testimony you have the acres or acreage of the specific islands. Do you have specifics of where these acres are in the testimony that you sent in? Is it all in one place, the 50 acres on Kauai, or is it throughout the island? Do you have information on that?
Yeah, we actually, the 2010 Board of Land and Natural Resources action lists the parcels by tax map key number. And so it depends on which island you're talking about. For example, Molokai is just a single lot. For Kauai, I cannot recall right now if it's one or multiple parcels.
Okay, but it's not in the testimony though, right?
Not in the testimony, but we can send you the, happy to send you the board submittal if you'd like it.
Okay. Please, Chair, if I would think that members would want to know which parcels are in their districts.
Yeah, if you could send it to the chair's office, we can have that distributed to the members.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Vice Chair.
Okay, thank you. Members, any other questions? If not, Chair Tarnas.
Thank you. And one more time, no more questions from here. No more questions from here. So Vice Chair Marioshi, I'd like to move directly into decision-making, if I may.
Yeah, please.
I have to preface my comments here by saying that this is unfinished business from the last time I was in the legislature 26 years ago. And it's high time that we get this settlement finalized. And my goal in writing this resolution is to really push for that final settlement to be consummated. And also to include the Homestead Association in this because they are eager to make sure that this is finalized. I recognize Chair Ila's desire to keep it simple, focusing on the implementation rather than on a working group. And I appreciate DLNR's desire to keep the working group small so you can get things done. My recommendation is to actually pass this as is, and that I would urge this working group, if it does move forward, that they do focus on implementation, getting this project, getting this transaction completed. You don't have to have lots of meetings, but we do want to see action. This legislature would like to see full implementation of Act 14 from 1995. 26 years is a long time to wait for final implementation. So that being said, long prefatory comments, but that's why I'm recommending that we pass this as is. And I'm open to any comments or discussion from members. Seeing none, I would ask Vice Chair to, are you saying no? Yes? Would you like to say something, Representative Ganadin?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Noting the testimony of the Department of Homelands, as well as the intent of the drafter, with utmost respect to the desire, I think that this might complicate a forthcoming settlement. Also noting that the department doesn't have its own attorneys outside of the Office of the Attorney General, so we're not sure how long this would actually take, and it might complicate matters. I think that it's possible to fulfill the desires as articulated in the preamble with the forthcoming settlement. So we'll be voting no with all due respect.
Certainly. Oh, I appreciate it. I'm hearing from the other members that they cannot hear you. Your microphone is not closed, so you don't have to repeat everything you just said, but
Just read the transcript later.
yeah. Comments from Representative Ganadin just saying that he is going to be voting no because he thinks that the resolution is not necessary for the settlement to move forward to final implementation. Any other comments from members? No more comments, so I'll turn it to you, Vice Chair, for the vote.
The recommendation of the chair is to pass HCR 76, HR and HR 64 as is, noting the excused absence of Representative McDermott and Representative Morikawa. Chair and Vice Chair vote aye. Representative Ganadin is a nay vote. Representative Kobayashi.
WR.
Representative Kong.
Aye.
Representative Ono.
Aye.
The measure passes.
Thank you. Over to you, Representative Marioshi.
Thank you, Chair Tarnas. Members, same recommendation. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, Chair,
Yeah,
as is.
voting on HR 64, HCR 76. Chair's recommendation to pass as is. Chair and Vice Chair vote aye. Representative Ichiyama.
Aye.
Representative Kobayashi. Excuse. Representative Presby. Aye. Representative Lowen. Excuse. Representative McKelvey.
Aye.
Representative Nakamura. Excuse. Representative Takubi.
Aye.
Representative Todd.
Aye.
Representative Tokioka.
Aye.
Representative Ward.
Aye.
Your measure passes.
Okay, thank you, members.
Thank you very much, Vice Chair Marioshi, and we can now adjourn the joint committee. So we'll be leaving, and thank you to carry on for your own judiciary hearing.